What's up, YouTube? My name is Dale Williams, also known as Detail Dale, and we are live here at Still and Steam Hair and Skin Services in Canal, Winchester, Ohio, home of the National Barber Museum. Today's haircut tutorial, I will be doing what we call a Patrick Mahomes type of Mohawk haircut. So please check it out, and if you like it, please subscribe to this video. Let's get started.
Okay, we're going to get this party started by first picking out his hair. And then we're going to put on this number 4 Andis attachment onto our Andis Masters to remove the bulk of the hair off the side, starting with the left side first. And as you can see, I have the lever turned all the way up, pushed all the way up, and we want to go in an upward and outward motion. And we can use our clipper comb as a guide to show us exactly where we need to be, but we're removing the bulk off the sides first with the number 4 attachment in an upward and outward motion. And once we've completed the left side, then we go to the right side next. And as we go up, we don't really want to go in, but just stay kind of like outward, because the whole shape of the Mohawk is having the hair longer in the top and in the back. It's really just the sides that are just cut down real low to give it that Mohawk effect. And this is a faded Mohawk. So now we're going to go to a number 2 attachment, and we're going to continue removing the bulk off the side. And I'm using this number 2 to show you that it is our original guideline, which is basically going to be that point of bringing in the longer hair on the top to where the hair is being faded at on the sides. And as you can see, once I remove this hair, that's the number 2 right there in that square-like motion. And so we're going to do the same thing on the right side. Create kind of like a square-like or L-like motion with the number 2 attachment going against the grain in an upward motion. And as you can see from this angle, when we're behind the ear, it's just going straight up, kind of like an L. So now we're going to start blending in where the hair is longest at and where the hair is shortest at. We're blending in the number 2 with the curlier part of his hair. And I'm using a Matakki blending shears to blend them in. And I'll go back and forth from the clipper over comb to using the scissors to blend out. I'm just going back and forth using both hand in hand, removing bulk with the clipper over comb, free hand, and also with the blending shears. So now we're going back to the clipper over comb method on the left side, and I'm freehanding as well. So I'm using a combination of multiple techniques: clipper over comb, blending out with the shears and a taper comb, and also freehand in order to get that perfect Mohawk look. Here we are again using the thinning shears, removing bulk, removing dark spots, removing weight, all in an effort to have that perfect blend from the curly on the top and the back going right into the fade. And I have here my Andis Slimline Pro GTX. And when we're doing the bottom part here, we want to make sure that when we fade it out, that we fade right into where the edge up is going to be. That we put that initial bald part going right into his line. You can see right here from this angle that it's bald on the side, about a quarter of the way up, but then as we go back behind his ear, then it turns into an edge up. If you don't get anything out of this video with doing a faded mohawk, this is the main point that I want you to get. And I'm going to do the same technique on the right side, where it's just balded out on the sides, about 3/4 of the way up, and then it just drifts off around to the back of his ear into an edge up. And as you can see, I have the Slimline Pros, and I'm removing any excess hair. And now I'm going with my shavers to make sure it's really, really smooth at the very, very bottom. And then over to the left side again. So once we're done using the shavers, I grab my Andis Nation Fade LIs, and I'll put in the secondary line. And I have my lever, oh, by the way, all the way up. Not back, but all the way up. And we're going to go about a 1/2 inch above that bald area, going toward the back. But we're not going to take that all the way to the back. We're going to go possibly about almost down to where his earlobe ends, as you can see. That secondary line only goes down so far, like right where his earlobe is at the very bottom almost. This is critical. You don't want to take that fade all the way back to the back like that, because then it'll take away from what we're trying to achieve with this particular faded mohawk. So now I grab my 0 attachment, and I'm going up about a 1/2 inch on the right side, but then we're going down a little bit lower on the right side. Going to the left side, got my 0 attachment, the lever's all the way up, and we're going further back, but not all the way to the bottom back, but just further back. Now we're going to take out that initial line, and I have my Andis Nation Fade LIs to blend that bottom line out there. And you want to use your brush, and because when the hair is like really, really close, a comb really doesn't serve too much purpose. Only when the hair is like longer does the hair serve purpose. So you want to use like a really nice multi-purpose brush like this Andis brush that I'm using here, to really make sure you remove any loose cut hairs and any hair that's also on the clippers, continuing to fade out that very, very bottom line there. And now we're on the left side, we're doing the same thing, blending out that bottom line. And we're not going past the bottom of his ear too. Just blending out real nice and smooth. We got the Andis Nation Fade LI clippers. We have our clipper brush. So now I got my 1.5 attachment. Now I could have easily went to, I don't know, I guess I could have easily went to the 1 attachment, but instead I went to the 1.5 because it just doesn't take off as much. And you don't, once you take it off, it's gone. So you might as well be conservative, use a bigger attachment to take less off, and then just work your way on down. And I got my Andis Masters, and I'm alternating between the LI Fades and the Andis Masters. And the reason why I'm using the Andis Masters is because this particular attachment does not fit on the Fade LI clippers, so I have to use it on this Andis Masters. So now I have my one attachment. And I'm not going to push the lever all the way up. I'm going to leave it back, but I'm going to push it up slowly as I go. I'll push it up accordingly, because if it's up too high, it might take off more than I need to. So you want to be mindful of that. Once the hair is gone, it's gone. So be conservative about using these attachments. So now that's done and we got the fade completed, I'm using my Andis Slimline Pro GTX clippers to edge them up here in the back and remove any excess hair. You can go downward, you can go upward. And this Andis Slimline Pro GTX is a wonderful clipper, a powerful clipper, and it will get the job done. And you can zero gap this clipper. Or I should say edger, I'm sorry. They're all clippers to me, and they all have different purposes. Some have the same purposes, and some do things a little bit better than others or different. With this particular edger here, it's just, it's multi-purpose. So now we got the shaver. We're removing all the stubble back here just to make sure everything's nice and smooth. And I'm gonna pick his hair out here in the front. And to show you how powerful these GTXs are, I'm using them as clippers. They're actually edgers, but they're so powerful you can use them as clippers as well. Look how they're just cutting through his hair. And so his hairline, I'm not a fan of taking people's hairlines back. As you can see, when we comb down that hair and then we push it back a little bit, you can see his actual hairline is way back there. I'm not going back there that far. No, we're just going to continue to comb down his hair, and then we're going to edge him up from the center part, and then we're going to go outward. So once we finish that, then we put a nice little foaming lather on them all the way around. In this case, we're using the American Crew foam lather. And then we're going to bring it out with a super hot towel to really get that lather in there with that heat to soften that hair up. And then when we apply the blade, his hair will just come right off like butter. So we're removing all the hair around the edge with the straight razor, working our way all the way around, combing hair down just like we were doing with the clippers, and removing it with the razor. So once that task is complete, we continue picking up the top, and he's trying to let his hair grow out long like Patrick Mahomes, where he has that lot of length on the top and faded real nice on the side. So he don't really want to cut the top down that much, but we are just removing just the split ends on the top before we shampoo him. So that way, once we're done shampooing his hair, we don't have to go back through and trim anything. So we're removing all the split ends now and all the excess hair. So here we are at the shampoo bowl, and I'm about to really activate those natural curls that he had using the Kenra line of shampoo products. So we have activated his curls, and we just towel dry him lightly and use a good pomade like this Red Can Bruise to lock it in. And this is the Mohawk fade. Patrick Mahomes Mohawk fade. If you guys got anything out of this video that you benefited from, please like and subscribe. Until I talk to you again, take care of yourself.